do you use protection? And then she said, no. Okay, I know you're all keeping quiet because, so these are 3 people. My question is, young people here, as you're having whatever you have with your partners, you know you have this assumption that when you reach campus, it is like an abomination to be a virgin. How many of you are abstaining here? And I'm sure you're all lying. Okay, I'm joking. So anyway, this is what I'm trying to, drive home. This girl was in a relationship where her boyfriend was sleeping with other 3 girls. Yeah? Unfortunately enough, she had just found out she's HIV positive now. Yeah? Then my question is, definitely even the other 2 girls were already infected. Yeah? But she also told me, you see, however much I love this boy, he's also just a student like me. We sit in the same lecture room. He can't give me everything that I want. Sometimes I want to do my nails. Sometimes I want to do my hair. And, he can't provide. So besides him, I also have some other 2 boys that one provides for lunch, one gives me transport to come to campus, and one is like, we vibe a lot. So we are ever in the clubs together. So you can imagine in that circle, all these guys are already infected. And at the end of the day, we go back and ask, why are the numbers increasing among young people? My question, maybe our dear doctors from marriage, my question has been, why is it that the increased number of HIV infections are among young people and not the married people? It means these young people are already sexually active. They are engaging in those, I'll call them events, yeah? And then the question is, as much as we want to, run away from contraception conversation and sexual and reproductive health conversation, saying maybe we should not advise them to use these, services, but rather tell them to abstain. My opinion is this should be the second option. You guys, if you can abstain, please abstain. I know you all think being at campus it's mandatory for you to have a boyfriend, yeah? It is not mandatory. And yes, you might have your boyfriend, but you can still abstain, yeah? Please abstain while you still can. But in case you cannot abstain, then that is why I say we need to give you this kind of information so that we don't let you face the challenges and then you come back again when we cannot help you. It is better enough if we give you this information at this early stage, and the time you get to these challenges, you can make informed choices. Yes? So he told me to talk about only fish, and I said, of course, this is a conversation I like so much. But to keep time, that is what we basically do. We link service providers to students in institutions of higher learning. I'm sure you have all come through your health ministers. Your health ministers are part of Own Your Future. We do quite a number of, engagements. We do Twitter spaces. We do debate tournaments. We work with other young people around, yeah. And this is like what we do. You are learning, you're getting information, and by the time you leave here, please do not sit on it. Go back and share this information, yeah? Like I said, imagine I'm talking to Alice and she's not informed. But when she gets this kind of information, and I get to speak to her, sharing my problems with her, she's going to give me information from a knowledgeable point of view, yeah? Not just guessing and giving me hearsay, yeah? So I really think it is very, very important that you also take these kinds of topics serious, yeah? Instead of going to your lecture rooms and then you get your books and then you copy notes, I'm sure not so many lecturers will come and talk to you about HIV/AIDS, and they talk to you about contraception, yeah? How many of you can witness that there is any lecturer who has ever come to class with a condom and showed you how to use it? So do you think we need to show you how to use condoms? Do you think we need to talk to you about pills? Do you guys need to learn about contraception? Do you think it is very relevant? Are you hearing the yeses? So young people are sexually active and they need this kind of information, not in a bad way. As I conclude, I still say it. If you can abstain, please abstain. If you have already failed to abstain, yeah, maybe you had a dream and you couldn't complete the dream. If you have failed to abstain, then please use what? Don't cry coming to us and telling us, you see, this boy, I trusted him with my heart. I thought he was the love of my life. He meant everything to me. Now he has infected me. Or this girl. Yeah? It's either ways. what girls do nowadays, even boys, boys do better. Anyway, so that is Own Your Future. We do a number of activities. We are very excited to participate. By the way, this is our first time to participate in the IUD. I am very, very excited. This is a very wonderful experience. I have really loved everything about it. You might think we are somewhere in Washington, D.C., but we are in Chambogo, in CTF building. So RHU, these guys are going to clap for you again. Please clap for RHU. You're even eating chicken. You're even taking sodas. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Andrew.
Okay, before we proceed to the panel, I would like to recognize the presence of Honorable Balimwezo, the most youthful MP I've ever seen in Kampala. Okay, so when Brendan was discussing, I just picked a few things, and one of it was information is power. When the doctor was discussing in the opening session, doctor said that we should only observe the ABC and let's not proceed to the D. And where I was seated, there were backbenchers who said doing it daily. So this shows how, most especially even when we are talking about sexuality, that the activeness in most individuals, it's normally daily, on a daily basis. As I'm speaking, no matter how hot it is, there is someone who's busy getting hotter than more than us who are in the CTF building. But I want to move to the gentleman over there, Mr. Williams. Just should pass me the mic. So, Mr. Williams, there is a most narrative that most institutions, or most organizations like RHU, Ministry of Health, where it says that if it's not on, it's not safe. But then the gentleman said, tosobola kulira sweetie mukavera, meaning that you cannot lick a sweet in a kavera. Is that right? I know I'm speaking to your school of thought, and I want to get from William's perception, why do we think that even regardless, when we bring condoms to institutions, put them at the dean's office, students do not use them, but they opt to sell them. If they don't sell them, they opt to use them as apparatuses of joking, posting them on TikTok, something of that sort. So, Williams, what do you think that the narrative, even when the government tries to provide condoms, what do you think RHU, Own Your Future, can do to make sure that we address such scenarios? That even when people have the condoms, we have had different names, Kiss, what, all those, people tend to opt to use live. What do you think could be done, and what's the issue among that?
I think some people prefer to do it without, which is unsafe. But it does not help when the condoms are provided, but they are not accessible, like placing them at the dean's office. They need to be closer to us, like at our halls. You understand, eh? It does not help when they are at the deans. We can't access them easily. And I urge people to really think about the future, because it's not worth it to have fun for 5 minutes without, and then you suffer the consequences for the rest of your life. So I urge students to do. And follow Plan C. If they fail to abstain, let them be safe. Do it safe. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I would like to proceed to Alice, the GRC. Most institutions tend to limit, I don't want to mention universities because I don't want to be sued, but there are certain institutions that do not allow condoms. Even on the gate, if they get you, you may end yourself an expulsion. So what do you think in regard to accessibility? How can we address this kind of stereotypes in institutions?
So to begin with, I think I think the main problem affecting our mindset towards things like contraception, like condoms, is our society in itself, right? Because, you see, even from me saying the word sex, people have been having this microphone and they'd be like, so when you're doing it, do it safe. When you're doing what? Swimming. Guys, you see, but I'm not saying, I'm not faulting them. I'm saying that because of the society and the way we are raised, we tend to mystify this whole area of sex, which is a problem, right? And that is why we thank RHU and OIF for coming out to demystify some of these things. Because of that whole myth and that whole mystery around sex and contraception, you know, people tend to think that it is evil to access these things. And here is the problem, right? The more we pretend like these things are not happening, that is the opportune and optimum environment for HIV/AIDS to grow. For example, in a very small example, in countries that refused to admit that there was corona, how were the death tolls? Think about it. From a disease like corona, countries that refused to accept that we need to lock down, that we need to take these measures, people that said, no, it is a white man's disease, they were dying, right? But countries that accepted that this is a problem, this is a challenge, we need to put up measures, they dealt well with it. That is the same thing with HIV/AIDS. Personally, I am abstaining. And I'm a very beautiful girl, I know that. Eh? Even other men on the street also see me and they see that I'm beautiful. They're also beautiful men. They are very nice looking men, and I see them, but I'm abstaining. However, regardless of the fact that I'm abstaining, I know a condom, I know how to open it, I know what it looks like, but you'll find that there are people here, or in other institutions, that are doing it daily, yeah? Especially girls, and they do not even know which side a condom is supposed to be put on. That is very problematic, guys, right? This is your life. This is your life. And now to the institutions, to the administrations, we should not pretend like these things are not happening, because the more we pretend, the more these things are going to happen underneath our noses, and the more we're going to be aiding HIV. Last thing, I attended a workshop with FIDA Uganda, and they told me something very interesting. In some communities, people believe that contraception is burying your used pad. You know, your pad that you use during menstruation. They believe that when you use it and you bury it, that is contraception. You can have sex. When you decide that now I want to get a child, you unbury it.